Welcome to Shorts Beyond Measure, where fashion, interiors, and psychology get the stylish, savvy, and slightly therapeutic touch.
We're Tara West, Caroline Baltz, and Allison Goldberg, a fashion stylist and two interior designers who are also trained as psychotherapists.
So let's get into what's trending, what's tired, and what's actually worth your time. Because good style and good decisions should never be short-lived.
Good morning, ladies. I am sitting on the other side of the table.
Where you belong.
I'm not usually on the end, but I kind of like it. I feel very tall. Anyways, today Caroline brought us a very special guest. Do you want to introduce us?
Yes, I am so excited. We have Christy Cashman with us in studio for a two-part episode, and we are so excited. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you. I'm loving it already.
It's all my pre-recording tips, right?
Yeah.
How to speak into a mic.
I needed that.
Got a little intimate here, people.
Just missing the whipped cream.
Yeah. Well, that can be arranged.
Nothing like 10:05 a.m.
We start early.
You got me started. I don't know.
Yes. But Christy, your background is so rich. You've done acting. You're an author. You are producing or part of a movie, right? Coming from one of your books. Another one's coming out this summer. Back us up to sort of your career and where you saw it starting and kind of give us a maybe broad brush of some of your experiences.
Sure. Well, I did do some acting, but before that, I was in New York and I was modeling, and that didn't go so well.
Really?
Why?
Oh, I feel like
When you said model, I was like, of course.
Right. I originally action.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty competitive, and I had I was going out there originally, and I had a great agent and everything, and then all of a sudden that agent merged with a bigger agency, and so they weren't interested in me after that. And so I was sort of winging it while I was in New York. And I did get a couple of interesting jobs. One was an MTV video, and the other one was with Vera Wang, and I was a house model for her.
Oh, wow.
And that was actually consistent work, so that helped me sort of with confidence as well. And she was huge at the time, and I loved working with her. She was really interesting, very inspirational.
She made my wedding dress.
She made mine too. I was going to say, I wore Vera Wang because it was the thing to wear, right?
Yes.
It was like you had to have a Vera Wang.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And I don't know, that was a really cool experience and probably my best, job ever in the modeling world. However, I remember when I went and did a fashion show for Geraldo Rivera.
Oh my gosh.
This is throwback Thursday.
Sex staying home from school sick watching Geraldo.
Okay, so that was what I was laughing about, because my friends and I, after when I was going to high school, my friends and I would go home and watch Oprah, then Geraldo. And basically, when I found myself on a fashion show of his, a couple years later, I was like, well, I guess I've made it,
You did.
And did they throw punches?
It was just something to laugh about, but it was also fun because it really was interesting to go 2 years later after having been with my friends in, North Carolina in high school, and then doing a fashion show on the show that we used to watch. But
Being on that stage.
being on the stage, yeah. But anyway, I got into acting mainly when I went out to California. And originally my mom had died. I was living with my sister, and she took me to some of her acting classes. And it was, I guess I kind of felt intrigued by that whole world, and because it is the art of storytelling, whether you're a producer, writer, director, actor, and that part of it kind of lured me in, the acting part, although I don't think that it was my strongest talent. It was something that definitely informed me as a writer, especially reading a lot of scripts, reading a lot of stories. And really, while I was reading a lot of stories for a producer and reading a lot of screenplays, I think that learning the story arc was what was most informative to me as a writer, because what you learn in reading stories is that your characters have to want something. And if you start writing a story without knowing what your character wants, without knowing what the main protagonist wants, becomes sort of a passive character, and that's not, helpful. I think that was one of the main things that I learned. Establish what a character wants.
So you walked away from that part of your life or career not wanting to be an actor, but you drew yourself to writing from that, do you think?
The way the world works, too. It's like, you get enough rejections, you do enough. And it's like, well, maybe this isn't for me. Yeah, maybe this isn't for me. And it's not that I don't have persistence, and it's not that I don't have a thick skin for rejection, but I really do think it was the world steering me towards, or however you think about it, God, the world, your,
the
life
universe.
story, the universe, steered me more into the path of writing. And it's not like it was a short period of time. I mean, I didn't really take myself seriously as a writer until, 10 years ago. So.
And what happened then that made you take yourself seriously?
Once I started writing The Truth About Horses, and all of a sudden, the more faith, or the more trust that I put in myself, and the more I took myself seriously, that's a big one, taking yourself seriously and making the time, carving out the time to write, then it just started to happen for me. Of course, there were some days I'd wake up and try to write in the morning, which is usually my routine. It didn't show up. But then I learned, somebody said, write your way through it. Whenever you get stuck or whenever you don't have the inspiration, you still write. You still show up to write. And that was big.
Were you always a writer? Like, did you journal? Like,
yes.
Have you, okay.
Yeah.
Did you study writing or?
No, not really.
Okay.
No. I mean, my parents were huge readers. My mom read to us all the time. My mom was always, telling me to read some book or whatever. And
that would make me not want to be a writer or read. But,
It's so true. You'd be like, I'd rather turn the television on.
Peace out, Mom.
But
I did take her advice. So.
your background, just in that summary of it, makes so much sense to me, because our book club, we read Truth About Horses, and it's a beautiful book.
Thank you.
It's beautiful. And the psychology of the characters and the way that you tell their wants, their desires, their foibles. I just think of this one passage, which doesn't maybe seem that significant, but the protagonist, the daughter's upstairs, and her father comes home, and she knows his cadence of how he opens the beer and then walks to his chair and then plunks down, and then the TV, and it's going to click 6 times through the different like, you just get the way humans behave. And all of us are psychotherapists, so we can appreciate that, but it really comes through in your writing.
Thank you so much. That's the part I enjoy writing. I enjoy writing what makes a character tick, what are the inner workings of their psychology, and you only know that based on how they react to things.
So I have a question. So how did you get to that book title or topic? What brought you there? And did you know the protagonist? I don't know the books. I'm sorry. I will read it.
That's okay.
But
you better read it.
Are you going to quiz me?
Yes.
I definitely will.
I have a copy if you want to borrow it.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because you were talking about that before,
Yeah.
that you observed from screenwriting.
Yeah.
So, but how did you choose that book to write?
Because I knew the world of horses, and there is some great advice that when you first start to write, at least write what you know. And I took that as, write the world that I know. So plant the story in a believable place that I can write believably, and then put the characters in that anything can happen to. I mean, once you create the world, then you've got the margins. Then basically, what it entails, and that dictates a lot in a story. And then you've got the character, like The Truth About Horses is set, for instance, in South Dakota on a ranch, right? You're not going to have a speed chase in cars,
Right.
It's not going to be an urban story, and so that once you put those parameters around it and you make yourself draw from life experiences and all the things that I knew about horses and the horse world, then I feel like that is the thing that makes the reader feel like they're in good hands.
So were any of your characters based on people in your life?
Oh yeah, but I can't say those names or we're gonna have to edit it.
Darn it.
Say it.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, also combinations. Like,
Right.
I find that when writing, I'll take a character who has a lot of traits of somebody that I knew growing up, but then I'll add in other flavors of other people. So it's not just that person, it's
So they can't get that offended.
Right. They can't. Yeah. They might know it, but
Yeah, they're like, wait, is this me? I didn't do that. Okay, and I heard a rumor that The Truth About Horses is being turned into a movie. Is that true?
it has been optioned. Yep.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
What does optioned mean? I'm not from that world.
So option means that it's kind of like a lease in a way. It's kind of like you give the rights of the story to be adapted to a screenplay, and that person has the rights to it for whatever the contract says, a year, 18 months, 2 years, whatever it is, to try to develop it and add and bring on director, actors, all that kind of stuff. If in that time nothing happens, the rights revert back to you, and then you can,
Shop it around.
shop it around again. Yeah.
And they're able to change the story.
Yeah.
Are you okay with
once
that?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I feel like I did my job. I did the job of writing the best novel I knew how to write,
Right.
and then from there, adapting it to the screen would be somebody else's expertise, I think, and I think you have to have faith that that'll happen. Keep saying the word faith. I must be.
She's going to church after this, just so you guys know.
That song just came into my head.
After starting,
What is it? Freddie Swims, Take Me to Church.
after starting with how to talk into the mic, I felt like we had to talk about faith.
Right.
Clearly, you felt dirty.
Okay. I have another question.
Okay.
Is there any part of you that wants to act in the movie?
Ooh, that's another good question.
I want to know the answer to this
Because
one.
I know I want to be in it.
Yeah. You're all going to be in
Surprise.
it. You're all going to be in it. In fact, Jane Seymour is the one who optioned it.
Wow.
And there's not really a part for her. So she might have to play the lesbian vet. Which I think would be hilarious because she was Dr. Quinn.
right,
Now she can be a
right.
lesbian Dr. Quinn.
She's just running the gamut.
Funny. Oh my gosh.
We've had some laughs about
I was
that.
going to say, this must be fun for you
Yeah.
to, see who it could be. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Do you get consulted on some of these decisions as they're made right now?
Well, once it starts rolling, I'm sure that I will be, or I would like to be. I would like
Did
to
you
be.
hear that, Jean? She would
Yeah.
like to
Yeah.
be consulted.
So that she can cast the rest of us in it.
No pressure, though.
I'll be a horse. I'll be anything.
I'll be the other lesbian.
Jane's husband.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I'm coming for you, Jane.
Well, let's also talk because we're going to stop for a minute here, but I do want to continue and talk about you have another book coming out.
I sure do.
And so the process of that one, because once you write one, how the heck do you think of another one?
Right. The pressure.
The pressure.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Can't wait to get into that in
Yeah,
our next
Would
episode.
love to. Great.
Yeah. Okay, great.
Okay.
Stay
Thank you.
tuned.
Stay
Thank you.
tuned.
Bye.
Bye.
That's it for this week's shortlist. Thanks for listening.
If you enjoyed today's conversation, share it, leave a review, or let us know what's on your short list.
Shorts beyond measure, because the most important things in life can't be quantified.